Hi, I'm Tom Wallace with Duback Racing Development, and I'm going to take just a couple of minutes today to show you how simple it is to repack a Duback Racing exhaust system. First of all, I'm going to show you the tools that we need. The Torx driver that was supplied with your Duback Racing exhaust system when you purchased it. You also need a 4mm Allen wrench, a knife of some sort, a regular metal-headed hammer, a soft blow hammer. I like to use a block of wood. It really doesn't matter on the shape or size. And if you want to speed things up, a Torx bit and a drill. Step 1 in the process is to remove the 3 bolts that hold the end cap on. Once the 3 bolts are removed, the end cap should simply twist loose and you can remove it. Sometimes the end cap can be difficult to remove. When this is the case, I take the soft blow hammer and lightly tap around the bottom of it. Underneath the end cap you will find this small end tube. This also needs to be removed by taking out the 2 bolts holding it on. These 2 screws can often become seized. When that is the case, I take the regular hammer and lightly tap on them. If you're experiencing problems with one of the screws after lightly tapping it with the hammer, simply remove the other screw, then take hold of the end and twist it. This will help loosen up the screw you're having problems with and make it easy to get out. Once you have removed this end tube, the exhaust pipe will stand up on its own and it becomes very easy to work on. There is a very small bead of silicone around the inlet cap. If you take a knife, you can break the bond that this silicone forms. Once you have finished breaking the bond, take the Torx bit that was supplied with your Duback pipe and undo the inlet screws. This is the part where I like to cheat and use the drill with the Torx bit in it. Now that we have the Torx screws removed, I like to take some kind of penetrating lubricant, like WD-40, and spray it around the end of the core where it meets the end cap. This helps the core to release from the end cap when we take the pipe apart. Now we need to remove the can from our exhaust system. Simply take hold of the mid-pipe, use your soft blow hammer, and tap lightly on the mount bracket. As you do this, you will begin to see the can move down on the inlet cap. Be sure that it is moving down evenly. You now have 2 separate pieces, the mid-pipe and the core, and the can. We need to take these outside to a well-ventilated area and completely remove all the old packing. Once you have the old packing completely removed, take your DRD repack kit and simply slide the tube over the core. Note that the repack kit actually is wider in one area. Be sure to line this up with the widest part of the can. This will make sliding the can back on much easier. Once you have this lined up, simply pull the cardboard tube out of the center of your packing. To make installing your can easier, be sure that the core is exposed all the way around the end and that the packing is tucked neatly into the inlet cap. Now I find it easier to work with the exhaust pipe down on the ground. This is where our block of wood comes in. Never place the end of your pipe directly onto the concrete floor. Always make sure it's on your block of wood. Now comes the fun part. Be sure that the D shape of your can is in line with the D shape of your inlet cap and simply slide the can over the packing. I really like to take my time doing this part and make sure that the packing fits nicely inside the can. If you squeeze the packing and slide it in, it will actually enter the can very easily. Doug has very cunningly designed our system so that the inlet cap will engage the can before the core reaches the end cap. Special care needs to be taken at this time. With our exhaust sitting on our block of wood on the floor, I like to put my fingers inside the end of the can and line up the core. Once I feel that the core is in line, I simply wiggle and I can feel the can start to engage the core. The core is now engaged all the way around, ever so slightly on the end cap. In some extreme cases, if you are really having a problem lining up the core with the end plate, you can use the handle of your hammer to move the core over and get it into line. Once we're absolutely sure that the core is engaged all the way around the end plate and no packing is caught between the core and the end plate, we're ready to install the can all the way. At this point, I'm confident that my core is aligned in the end and that my inlet cap is aligned in my can. I'm now going to use one swift motion onto the block of wood to slide the can all the way onto the core and the inlet cap. My exhaust is now back together with fresh packing. At this time we're going to install the bolts, the end tube and the end cap. Notice that the 2 bolts used on your end tube are actually slightly shorter than the 3 bolts used on your end cap. Once done, apply a small bead of high temp silicone around the inlet cap. I sincerely hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have any questions when you're trying to repack your Duback Racing exhaust system, please contact our technical support.